When you want to save your marriage, but your spouse wants out, it hurts. And the spouse that's wanting out may be doing things that are very painful to you, like having an affair with someone else or treating you disrespectfully. And the pain at times seems so intense that you wonder even if you can make it through to the other side. Well, here's the good news. You can make it through to the other side. Here's even better news. We can teach you a system that, if you use it, can dramatically increase the likelihood of bringing your spouse back. Hi, I'm Dr. Joe Beam with Marriage Helper. For the last quarter century, we've been working with marriages in crisis. As a matter of fact, the vast majority of the marriages we work with, one spouse does not want to be in the marriage anymore. Wants out, like maybe they're madly in love with someone else or whatever it might be. And yet in that quarter century, what we've discovered is this. If we can work with both of them, then the likelihood of putting the marriage back together is 75%. 3 out of 4, even though one of them is saying there's no way on earth I'm going to be in this. And I realize as I say that, you're thinking, wait a minute, Dr. Beam. You just said if you can work with both of them, but I'm in a situation where that's not going to happen. You see, it's me alone. My spouse doesn't even want to think about or talk about the fact that we could possibly put the marriage back together. Is there something you can do for me? Well, the answer is yes. You see, we've been so effective in working with couples. A couple of years ago, I decided to develop an online course. We call it Save My Marriage, for the one spouse who wants to save the marriage when the other one won't even consider the possibility of it. That now is available to you in a new form. You see, the one that I made a couple of years ago, thousands of people have already been through that, and we get all kinds of accolades. Let me tell you what it did for me personally. Let me tell you what it did for my marriage. And we get all these wonderful stories about we put our marriage back together. We're going to make it. Everything is wonderful. And on the occasion when they are not able to put the marriage back together, let me tell you what I learned that made me a better person. Let me tell you the benefits that came to me, even though in my case, it didn't save the marriage. You might be thinking, well, that's quite a pitch, isn't it, Dr. Beam? You're telling me that sometimes it doesn't work? That's right. Because you see, we tell the truth. There are people out there who will lie to you and tell you if you just do what they tell you to do, they'll guarantee that your spouse will come back, be so sorry he or she ever left, and that you'll live happily ever after. And those people lie. That's not going to happen 100% of the time. As a matter of fact, most of them, based on what I see, will teach you how to manipulate your spouse to come back. Manipulate your spouse to come back. Well, if you manipulate your spouse to come back, how will you keep them back? Do you keep doing manipulation? Is that what you do? That's not a life you want to live, is it? But we teach you solid principles. As a matter of fact, the same principles that I teach marriage counselors and therapists. And no, going through this will not make you a marriage counselor or therapist, but it'll give you the insight of the things to do and not to do, the things to stop, the things to start that can put your marriage back together. What we tell people is this: if anything works, this will. I've recently re-recorded all those videos because I wanted to make that course even better. Yes, thousands have already been through it, but I wanted to make it even better. And we're making that offer to you. There are 12 videos, over 6 hours of videos, 12 videos. And along with those videos, we have PDFs, a workbook, for example, that you download and work through. Also, if you don't want to watch online, you can actually just listen. We have it in podcast form as well. If you prefer just to read it, we have full-length transcripts of it that you can read instead if that's what you prefer doing. And in addition to these new videos, of course, you've got the old course. It's still there. We call it our legacy course, and you get access to them too. And you get all of that for 1 year, meaning for a whole year, you can go back again and again and again and go through these things. But it's not just a static course. It's dynamic in this sense. Every week, you have access to this call with one of our coaches. Now, not individually, but the group all together. And you come in on this particular piece of software and you can type in your questions. And once a week, one of our coaches, and our coaches are awesome, once a week, one of our coaches will be there for that particular time and will answer verbally as many of those written questions as they can. No, in that hour, they don't get to every question. You understand that. But if you keep coming back week by week, sometimes the questions other people ask fit your situation exactly, and you go, yes, that's what I wanted to know. And if you keep coming back, at some point you actually can get your own question through there. In addition to that, we have a group, or people who are in this course, which means you get to interact with other people dealing with the same kind of things that you deal with. You find some comfort and support there. And our admins in there are also amazing. And they'll interact with you when they think it's appropriate. They'll sometimes refer you to other resources and all those kinds of things. Well, you see, you get all those and even more than I'm telling you about right now. Here's the benefit for you being in that course. You will become the best you have ever been. Now, this course is not designed to prepare you for the next relationship. It's designed to help you save this marriage. But we realize that sometimes that doesn't happen. But the downside is this. If you go through the course, even if it doesn't save your marriage, it prepares you to be the best you that you can possibly be. And there's a principle that like attracts like. In other words, if you decide, if this one doesn't make it, God forbid, we hope this one does make it. That's what we want to help you do. But if it doesn't make it, it'll prepare you for the next relationship so it can be strong, healthy, loving. That's the downside of taking this course, is the fact that you become the better you. And the upside, which many people are experiencing, not only is this self-growth for themselves, but being able to put the relationship back together and making it good, maybe better than it was before. Well, you might be thinking, why should I believe you, Dr. Beam? If I were you, I might be asking the same question. So while I really hope you come in the course, and I hope to see you there, let's listen to a few videos, if you have another minute or so, of people who've been through the course and see what they have to say about it.
I can only say I wish I had discovered this months earlier, because in it I realized how many mistakes I was making in trying to win back my wife and my children.
I learned so much about myself and about my marriage. I wish that I would have discovered it earlier.
Learning that you cannot control anything. You can only change yourself. You can only control yourself. So if you change yourself, you can influence others.
You learned a lot about yourself, you learned patience, and you learned how to communicate your feelings.
My favorite part of the course was the peace and hope that came as I went through it. Something that I didn't even get while I was going through therapy.
I feel like it has truly changed me as a person, a spouse, a mother.
Really taught me a lot about myself.
Marriage Helper has saved me from a lot of anxiety, from a lot of impatient behavior.
Really made you dig within inside yourself and think about all the things that you do that you're not thinking about.
I thought I had all the answers to my marriage and why it's not been working.
The less you push, the more the other person has to pull.
It does help with communication skills, not only with my spouse, but also through my career and my children.
I really enjoyed the 10-week course. I liked that everything was broken down into so many steps and that the workbook helped keep you on track. I learned so much.
It wasn't about playing games. All the other resources sort of wanted you to play hard to get or go out and find other people to make your partner jealous.
My favorite parts are the videos with the information. That is golden. It has helped me to become a better person and with the hope of getting back together.
The course itself, again, is based on statistics, knowledge, tried and true methods. They don't lie to you. They are sincere and care about the marriage, your marriage.
I really like that I have the support on here, as well as the private Facebook group.
The Facebook group is fantastic. It is a blessing.
I enjoy the weekly encounters with the Marriage Helper and all the tips that come offline and on the virtual trainings.
The Marriage Helper course has been phenomenal. And I have to tell you that it has helped me both personally as well as in my marriage.
At the end of the day, he chose not to even show me the divorce papers. He took them with him and he chose to continue talking. So for the first time in a long time, I face the future of our marriage with hope.
I'm hoping for a reconciliation and praying for reconciliation. However, if for some reason, if it doesn't work out by the grace of God, at least I've bettered myself.
If anything works, this will.